We are the number 4 podcast for tech news in Bahrain.
Bahrain. Thanks, Bahrain. Hello and welcome to Rekt Podcast. I am Bunchu alongside my esteemed colleague and co-host Crypto Chamber. Chamber, how you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good, man. You know, had a good weekend, set up some Christmas decorations, getting into the old holiday spirit. How was your weekend?
Are you full on tree before Christmas? Tree before Thanksgiving kind of guy?
So, again, Canadian over here. There is
you
a
don't
big
have Thanksgiving here.
We have a pretty big lag between Halloween.
Thanksgiving was what, October?
Yeah, it's mid. Our Thanksgiving is mid-October. So we have our Thanksgiving, then Halloween, and then basically for 2 months there's nothing. So in Canada, we start to set up decorations usually after we call it. What do we call it? Remembrance Day? I think you guys call it Memorial Day or Veterans Day. Yeah.
Veterans Day.
So typically after that, you start to see the Christmas music starting to play in the malls. People putting out their decorations outside. So I kind of started that this weekend. What about you guys?
Very
you guys
nice.
start? I tweeted out the other day if Americans have Christmas stuff up during Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we actually put some stuff up yesterday. Just took it out of the closet, started setting it up. No tree yet. So the tree is pretty firmly after Thanksgiving in our household, but I know a lot of people do
I
it
agree.
differently. I think my neighbors next door have their tree up already.
Really? I'm a firm believer on, at the very earliest, the last weekend in November, you can set up your tree, typically the first weekend in December. I feel like that's a good rule of thumb.
I think that's pretty good. I think that's good.
Because what do you guys, how long do you keep your tree past Christmas? Like, are you January 3rd it's down, or like January 15th or February 1st, or?
It's probably somewhere around the 15th to the 1st. No later than the 1st.
Of February?
Yes.
Wow, that's good. That's not bad.
The too long, you think?
I like Christmas, so not too long for me.
Look, it goes up once a year. I feel like a 6-week span is fine.
And I agree 100%. Now, don't you feel like
plus
the house...
you're like in the thralls of winter, so it's like it doesn't feel out of place. Like it feels out of place now, too early.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
it doesn't
I
feel
agree.
out of place too late.
I also feel like it makes the house feel nicer.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Like when everything's out,
piece of shit.
Exactly. I like the Christmas tree lights up. Especially when I wake up in the middle of the night, you go into the kitchen or something. We'll typically leave it on all night, most of the time. So I like having the
we do the
colorful hue.
Now, I do have to say though, before I don't want to get too far into Christmas tree talk in the week of Thanksgiving here in America,
agree.
But one of the hardest struggles is Christmas trees and cats.
I agree. There's usually about a 9-inch from the bottom. You got to go up. It's usually pretty bare.
And it's
unfortunately,
brutal.
my cats have passed on, so I can utilize the entire bottom of the tree now.
I'm going Christmas palm tree next year because those cats are fucking brutal.
All right, that's enough Christmas talk.
Anyway, all right. So let's stop for a moment for a word from our sponsor, MyBookie.
Want to put your extensive sports knowledge to the test? Get it done with MyBookie. With the NFL in full swing and the NBA and NHL season upon us, it's time to get off the sideline and get into the action with MyBookie. Best part is, if you join right now, MyBookie will double your first deposit. That's right. If you put in $1,000, they'll give you $1,000. That's double your initial deposit. You can use that on all your favorite picks. Use promo code REKT to activate the offer. That's promo code REKT to double your cash. Visit mybookie.ag today. You play, you win, you get paid.
And we're back.
That's amazing. Time traveling.
So anyway, let's get a little sports betting update from you. Last week it was the subject of our Real Life Rekt. I need to get an update of how you. I mean, I saw a tweet that said,
"Yes,
you followed some of my advice, and
I did.
Were at least not wrecked."
Nope, not when I sent that tweet out.
Oh no.
You know what? I've had some truths appear to me over the weekend. It was a tale of 2 days for me and betting. Friday night, I had taken your advice. I picked, straight up picks for the NBA. I even bet against the Lakers. I just bet that they wouldn't cover the spread, which they didn't, and it was perfect, and they won, so that was good.
Look at that. Because whenever I do that with the team that I root for, if they do win and cover, and because it leaves you with this weird taste in your mouth, because you're like, all right, well, my team won and covered, but I lost money, so I just call that a victory tax.
I agree. Because there was a moment, I think there was like a minute left in the game. I think the spread was 7.5, and we were up by 5. And I'm like, whoa, guys, just chill out. We don't need to win by a bunch. Just get the W, and let's move on. So I had picked 4 teams. I had won 3 out of the 4. What I didn't do a parlay. So,
right,
75%. I thought that one went well. And then I put out that tweet, praised you for your great advice. And that's where I stopped taking your advice. And I'm like,
you need to remind yourself.
I know. See, well, I know what I'm like. And sure enough, I think I had mentioned last time my daughter, I had her playing on the 3D slots. I was doing some work downstairs, and sure enough, she's like, "Can I play that game on your computer again?" Like, yeah, for sure. So I set it up, and I don't know what she did, but she lit up my account.
You let your daughter blow your 2 accounts up.
2
times.
Hope
you don't let her trade for you.
No, well, you know what? She'd probably do better. But yeah, so I don't know what she did. I think she max bet a few of the lines on the 3D slots.
Oh my god!
But yeah, so. Here we are.
Okay, but still, that's not your doing. It just happens to be unfortunate that you let your daughter play your slots. But that's not you saying, screw it, I'm going to go blow it all.
Correct.
You still followed the actual betting.
Your advice was sound, and it worked for me that day.
All right, so a little bit about the Bunchu's weekend on the betting side. My last 7 days, I am hitting at 70.1%, a record of 47, 20, and 3, including a 15 and 3 day yesterday.
Wow.
So, this girl is on fire. Your boy is lighting up the boards here in the last week or so, hoping to keep it on roll. I'm in a fantasy football group with a bunch of crypto guys, the Crypto Street guys and all that, because they do that fantasy football league, and I got them.
They're much more masculine than your co-host.
Yes, I got them all using the Action Network app, and so you can that's the screenshot I sent you.
Yes,
where I track
it looked pretty. Pretty.
It's awesome.
In depth.
So, so anybody is free to follow me on there, and you can either see me do terribly or see me do well. I follow Dale and Crutches, shout out those guys, and so we always look at each other's picks and everything. But I went.
Who does better between the 3 of you?
Crutches had a good. Actually, all 3 of us had a freaking sick weekend. Actually, I think Dale went undefeated on Saturday.
No kidding.
Yeah, he had a good weekend. I don't know what he did yesterday, but we all like to talk some trash too, so
of course
it's good stuff. But anyway, so if you want to get on board with us in our betting follies, go to our sponsor, mybookie.com. Use the promo code REKT, REKT, and you can get a bonus on your deposit, and let us know how you do.
I hate to stomp on your live read there, but it's actually mybookie.ag.
Oh, mybookie.ag.
Yes, they mess with us on the .com.
The AG. Yeah, all the gambling sites are AG. Because
are they? I didn't know. I didn't know what that means. Is it? I guess something to do with American gambling, maybe, or
no? It's the opposite. I think it's
international,
they're offshore. Yeah.
Offshore gambling.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you fight on monkeys with switchblades?
Yes. I parlay all of those.
Nice.
Anyway, so that's going to do it for our little intro here. We are going to get into some real life wrecked. Riggedy wrecked, son! Chamber, you just had something happen to you right before we got on here?
Yeah, because you had texted me. I don't know what your story is, but you had said, I have a great real life
Friday I texted you.
Yeah, so you've been sitting on this one for a little bit. I actually, it's about 4:00 our time here on the East Coast, and I just came back from picking up my daughter from school, and the whole family, my wife and my youngest daughter, went to go pick her up, and we're walking back, and we're all by ourselves, and we're coming through the park, and there's kind of an overhang over the walkway, and my oldest daughter looks at me and she says, "Hey, Dad, can you touch that branch?" And I looked at it, and I'm like, it's got to be...
You're like, hell yeah, I can.
Shit, yeah, I can. It's got to be 9-10 feet up in the air. I'm like, I got this. And I'm like, not even a running jump, just a straight 2-footer straight up. And it felt like I was wearing 25 backpacks. And I'm like, wow, I did not come close. I must have whiffed it by 6 inches.
Oh my God.
Not even close.
And you're already a tall gentleman yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, it was, I think I was thinking with my high school brain and not my old man brain. Because the math worked out in my head. I'm like, shit, yeah, I got this, no problem. And it was nothing but air. And I feel like it wasn't even close. My fingernails were long too, and it didn't even come that close. So very embarrassing. I think I hurt myself afterwards. Like my foot was kind of sore out. Yeah, like this is not a good look. So embarrassed myself in front of my entire family. They all had a great laugh. So
hey, there's nothing wrong with that every once in a while. You got to provide the entertainment, and I think the thing that will always be funny about that for the entirety of your daughter's lives is the bravado in which you will do things that ultimately will end up in fails.
Oh my goodness. And you know me, my bravado is at an all-time high all the time. Yeah. So, yes, I wish it wouldn't get me into so much trouble, but it absolutely does.
Fantastic. All right. So mine happened to me. I guess I found out like Thursday of last week or something. So, like recently there's been all of these, kind of hacks of data privacy and passwords and emails and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
So, every once in a while, you can very well easily tell that one of your accounts has been hacked, right? So, and it non-crypto related, so, it's not a OPSEC type thing. These are actually things that I was using before crypto. So I would use all the same passwords and all that kind of stuff and all the same email, everything. So I noticed on Thursday that I got a email, and this is, before I met my wife. I had a single period in which it was probably about a year or so between like my girlfriend and then when I met my wife, where I was single bunch you, and so I was using all the latest dating apps and websites as one is one to do when they are.
This is all very foreign to me.
Well, yeah, they didn't exist when you've been
the internet barely existed when I started dating my wife.
Yeah, right. So so I got an email from like Match.com, and it was like, oh, we've missed you. Thanks for coming back to Match.com. I'm like, what? I didn't do that. And so I didn't really think anything of it. I just kind of deleted it. Then Thursday morning, there's another website. It's called Plenty of Fish. Have you ever heard of this?
I'm very familiar with Plenty of Fish. I had a friend, one of my good friends signed up for that years ago, and I thought that was the funniest name. So that one has been stuck in my head for a long time.
Okay, so I also had an account on that, and so the next morning, it was either Thursday morning or Friday morning, I woke up to 150 email notifications from Plenty of Fish about people in my area that were messaging me back and forth and that wanted to meet me and blah, 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 all this shit. I'm like, oh no. Two nightmares happened immediately. I'm like, Jesus Christ, if my wife sees any of these emails, she's going to think that I'm like out trolling on dating websites. And I'm like, 2, somebody's out there pretending to be me on Plenty of Fish and like actually messaging people. So I tried to log on. And then I'm also still having this now. I'm like, okay, well now I've officially logged on my phone. It's in my history. I'm like, I am going, I gotta like really explain this. And so I get on there and I like go click on the profile, and whoever had access to my profile changed my profile, like my information, to like scammer e-girl stuff.
Really?
And yeah, and so like sexy profile picture, sexy like profile like writing and like bio, and so then I go into the messages and it's like this person's having conversations with people trying to scam them out of money. And they're like links to their picture sites and all of this stuff. So Bunchu turned e-girl this past weekend. And yeah, it was pretty, so I had to obviously put a stop to that, and I ended up deleting all of those accounts. So that won't happen again. But, if you've been scammed by Bunchu the e-girl, I just need you to know that it wasn't me.
I 100% got scammed. I thought you were reaching out to me, trying to make a connection. Turns out it wasn't you. Now my heart's broken.
Sorry.
So I got to know: have you broached this subject with your wife?
Yes. So like, I sent her a screenshot of my email, like my email that day, and I was like, what the fuck? And she's like, what is going on? And I'm like, I don't know, somebody hacked my shit or what. And then I logged on and I showed her like the profile and that somebody had changed it all. And I'm like, this is outrageous. So she actually kind of thought it was funny. So,
that's good. I always feel.
Then she goes, instead of the normal reaction would be, oh, you're on these websites, you're trying to hook up, you're trying to cheat on me. She's like, how do I know that's not you trying to scam people out of money?
That's a good point.
I'm like, well, I was like, at least that's where you went with it. Like,
absolutely. I mean, you give her a little taste, right? Maybe give her a little 20% off the top.
Right. Look, hey, wait, I support our lifestyle over here. So, if she shouldn't be,
don't ask
really
too many questions.
Where the funds come from. But yeah, exactly.
Don't ask too many questions. That's interesting. That's interesting, man. So. That's crazy. I always feel, you definitely got to get out ahead of these things when it comes to your significant others. When anything suspicious is happening that you have nothing to do with, you really gotta put that information out there before they unfortunately find it. I have a coworker. We were chatting the other day, and I'm going to Vegas in January for work, and we were talking about that, and I said. I said, my wife always says, "Oh, you're going away for work, you're always having fun."
That is a hard misnomer. That is,
isn't it so true? Like even in Vegas, like it's not fun. Like trust me, it's not fun working.
Myth.
So he looks at me and he says, "My wife thinks I'm going to Phoenix," and I'm like, "You've been going to this for years." I said, every year have you been telling your wife you've been going to Phoenix this whole time?" He looks at me, he's like,
Why would he do that?
He just didn't want to deal with the fact that he was, he's not, And this guy's he's a straight shooter. He's not messing around or anything. But he just didn't want to deal with the fact, like, defending his work trip to Vegas. So he just tells them they're going to Phoenix instead. I'm like, dude, you're going to get caught. And it's gonna be
because it's gonna be even bad. If it's nothing, it's automatically something.
And it is 100%. I vouch for this guy till I'm blue in the face. Like, it is absolutely nothing. He legit just doesn't want to have that conversation and have that for the next 2 months hanging over his head. Oh, well, you're going to Vegas in a couple of, you know what I mean? Like, it's all that is. And I'm like, dude, that is so dangerous that you're playing with absolute lava right now, not fire.
When I first met my wife, apparently my nickname in her circles when they would talk about me was Vegas. Yeah.
That's something.
Yep.
But that's funny.
I mean, I feel like I live up to that nickname pretty well.
I would say so. Yes. In all the good ways. In all the good ways.
Yeah, right. Exactly. All right. Let's finally get to some crypto talk. Let's get into the news. So I'm going to start us off here. I usually throw it to you here, but I am going to start us off. So this news story comes with, a caveat because it's not quite a news story as much as it is market talk. But what are we sitting at here for Bitcoin price right now? I am seeing 71.85. Right?
I'm seeing about the same.
All right. So, but that wasn't the case. Late yesterday night, early this morning. So this comes from the Block Crypto. By the way, I know we use this website for a lot of our news, mostly because it's easy to digest and quick, right?
Correct. It is very quick, very small.
They got
articles.
They got themselves into some hot water this weekend. Did you see?
I saw. Did they? I mean, it sounded like they put out a news story that may have not been 100% fact checked in regards to.
So they
Binance?
reported something about Binance, and their operations or whatever, and they said in one of their news stories that they were subject to like a police raid or something.
Yeah, in Shanghai, I believe, something like that.
Yeah, and I guess that wasn't quite true, so that was the whole controversy there.
I don't know, this is crypto, right? I mean, I get, a real news website would obviously fact check, and they always say you want three fact checks before you put something out. But this is crypto, man. If you hear a smell of a news story, there's competing news websites for crypto out there. So I get why the Block tried to get out ahead of it, but unfortunately got bit. It's too bad.
So yeah,
we're still going to use them though, because their articles are great.
Bitcoin drops below 6,800, hitting a 6-month low. So yesterday evening into this morning, Bitcoin prices fell sharply from 7,700, which was, kind of where we started the weekend, to almost a 12-15% drop to around 6,800. And then I think it got as low as around 65. Is that right?
I don't know how low it got. I stopped looking when it starts to bleed that much. You don't want to look at the wound.
See, I love it. I love it.
You want to inspect the wound is what you're doing.
Yeah, I want to see how fast it's falling and then correlate that with what crypto Twitter is doing. Data from Recto shows that the derivatives exchange BitMEX saw more than $388 million worth of XBT perpetual swap contracts liquidated over the past 24 hours, which means that the exchange system has automatically closed those Bitcoin leveraged positions because they are underwater. Right now, again, obviously we've come back a little bit to that 7,100, but I think that it got to, let me just look this up here while I'm talking. I think it got to the 6,500 range. So,
jeez. Did you buy any?
Did you buy any?
I did not. I'm a puss. No, I got super scared. Really? No, not really. I just didn't have the
You don't have strong hands by now?
My hands are concrete.
Bybit here that the daily low for today. Oh no, that's a month. Let's see. Daily low. The daily low for today is 64.85.
Woo, that's low. I felt like the sentiment on Twitter was everybody was
65.19.
Well, that's not. Yeah, it's what you said.
That's $50 difference. Yeah.
But I always think it's hilarious how many people are like tweeting out long forever, and then it dumps, and everybody's tweeting out how they were short. And I'm still trying to understand how $300 million was liquidated, yet everybody was short. So it's very confusing.
All rich.
It's very confusing to me.
I mean, I don't know. What do you think about this whole thing?
I think it's what Bitcoin does, right? In the words of crypto fungus, snake oil go down and snake oil go up. It's what it does. But I think when it went up, like we had a big move. I forget when it was, a couple months ago when when we got into the $12,000-$13,000 range.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a matter of days to get there. And nobody kind of batted an eye. It's just like, oh no, this is what Bitcoin does. And then,
well, about a month ago, it had that. We were at 7,700 on a Friday night, and it went to 10.5.
Right, exactly. And nobody blinks an eye. Nobody complains about it. And then we bleed out over the course of maybe a month to where we are now. And then maybe this is the capitulation in the short term, where you get that kind of that V bottom. It sounds like that's what it was. So maybe we see some uptrend from here. I would probably be long if I was in a position. I'd probably be longing if in the sixes for sure. If I got to, if I could get along at 67, 6,800, that's probably pretty solid.
Two tweets I want to point out here that I saw. Obviously, have you seen, or you're familiar with Angelo BTC, correct?
I'm aware of the lore behind Angelo BTC. I may or may not follow him.
What is that lore for the listeners out there?
From my understanding, this is an OG crypto person, tweets very little, and when he does tweet, things happen. Does that sound about right to you? Am I capturing that properly?
Kind of, sort of. At one point, he was apparently for a long time, the leader on the BitMEX trading leaderboard. So,
okay.
Right. So he is a well-known, profitable Bitcoin trader, according to. So he's made more Bitcoin than you and I will ever see, and probably lost more Bitcoin than you and I will ever see. Right? So
it's the truth.
But he had that one a long time ago, or a while back now, that said, all this action below 1,400 is just to shake you out before we get there, blah, blah, blah. And then, or 14,000, sorry. But on 10/15, so about a month ago, he tweeted, patiently waiting for 6K BTC levels where I will add to my long-term holdings. Good luck, homies. And that got 3,500 likes, 570 retweets. So he's been calling for 6K since October 15th.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's interesting to see.
Now, do you think he considers 65 the 6K?
His last actual well, that's why I was going to ask you. I was going to say, are we close enough? The last message he tweeted out before that personally was on 8/28, so August 28th. Got a message from a friend that trades with serious size. He said, long capitulation once we break 8K. I tend to believe him.
Really? Interesting.
So, so either way, we're somewhere around those levels. So either we're going to go down to that 6K level, or or maybe they front run us at 65K or 6,500,
Yeah, anyway, I don't know.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, to me, 64 65, 64 might be close enough, for those type of traders. So maybe the bottom or the short-term bottom or local bottom is in. So it'll be interesting to see. And that was his last tweet was on the 28th?
The last tweet was October 15th. That was the 6K one.
And that was the last tweet he's put out?
He's put out, yeah.
That's crazy. I couldn't imagine. That's more impressive to me. Not even calling the bottom is being on Twitter and only tweeting every quarter.
I think I'm falling into that category.
That's impressive to
me. One other tweet that I thought was very interesting that I saw this morning was from our friend at BTC Sessions, who was a guest on our show. He said, the last time Bitcoin was at this price was May 11th. For perspective, ETH then was $176. Now it's $136. XRP was 30 cents. Now it's 21 cents. BCH was $2.99. Now it's $1.99. Litecoin was $79. Now it's $44. And EOS was $4.94. Now it's $2.41. And then the bottom says, shitcoins are a great way to lose sats. Thoughts?
I mean, I think it's the opposite of that. I think what I'm taking from this is a great time to buy shitcoins, as opposed to the last time Bitcoin was at this price. I think the dominance is about to drop. I think the dominance level at the very worst for Bitcoin was just under 30%. And I think we're at about 65 right now.
But if you look at this, right? I mean, if you would have held Bitcoin the whole time, you'd have
right, absolutely,
100% price, and you'd have lost half your worth in everything else.
No one. I don't think anybody would argue that. But I think for the most people holding trading shitcoins right now, most of the time when Bitcoin makes these huge moves down, or in any direction, really, we feel it on even more so on the altcoin side. And that was not the case over the weekend. I was making, profitable BTC trades on alts over the weekend. Obviously losing
Look
it
at
on
you.
Subtle
flex.
I mean, you do enough of them, a couple of them are going to work out in your favor. But yeah, no, I mean, obviously we're losing USD value, but I was trading versus Ethereum and versus Bitcoin and making up some ground on both of them over the weekend. So I think. I mean, if you're not long 130 whatever Ethereum, I don't know what to tell you. You're definitely not into
timestamp it. I'm not long any Ethereum. I'll go long Ethereum when it hits $80 again, which
exactly. I think I think it's a good spot. I think again, obviously some alts are going to go to zero, but I think. It's not.
Yeah, but those are top 5 market cap alts.
Absolutely, those are not going to zero. So I don't foresee in the near future Ethereum going to zero. So I mean, again, people forget what Ethereum was at, like $500, $1,500. I feel like Ethereum was $500 forever, and now we're talking about it, at a buck and a quarter, $1.50, as being the norm. Like I trade. Multiple Ethereum now. And when I first started trading Ethereum, it was 0.25 Ethereum I was trading, right? So, I don't know. I think if you can stack your Ethereum and you can stack versus Bitcoin on alts, it's a good time right now. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm probably fucking wrong anyway, so don't listen to me.
All right. Well, you got more news for us here?
Yeah, I got a news story. This might be, we were talking about the positive news from China. There has been some negative news as of late on China. This is from the block crypto.com. China Central Bank's Shanghai unit officially announces to crack down on crypto exchanges. So this one's dangerously close to what we were talking about earlier with Binance. Shanghai's headquarters of the People's Bank of China, the country's central bank, has officially announced it will crack down on cryptocurrency exchanges in the city. So I'm assuming this is probably a fix from their original news article. According to an official announcement Friday, the regulator said it will adopt monitoring measures such as interviews, inspections, and bans on the monitored entities involved in the virtual currency activities to resolve related risks in a timely manner. Cryptocurrency speculation is rising amidst recent promotion of blockchain technology in China, said the central bank, adding the investors should not mix blockchain technology with cryptocurrencies. Quote, there are multiple risks in virtual currency issuances, financing, and trading, including false asset risk, business failure risk, investment speculation risks. Investors should enhance their risk prevention awareness and be aware of being fooled, being cheated, and so on, said the regulator. The official announcement comes after the Shanghai government, including the People's Bank of China Shanghai unit, inspected cryptocurrency exchanges in the city this week. The target of the investigation was business that conducted cryptocurrency trading, token sales, and distribution of tokens from overseas initial coin offerings. So, as you can see, if this was the actual news, I could see how the block crypto probably got their hand slapped by including Binance in this. So this news article really kind of highlights where their motivation was. So your thoughts on that?
So that's what we're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. Not necessarily, the police officers knocking down the doors at Binance, but they're definitely, being aware, putting some regulations in when it comes to crypto exchanges in China.
Interesting. I feel like that's happening everywhere, but China's China, so life goes on.
I said Canada earlier, but we should probably have a bit more monitoring in Canada as well, because as we do the news,
well, your fucking exchanges
we're the worst. We are the worst when it comes to exchanges. Please, if you live in Canada, do not put your money on a Canadian exchange. It is probably the worst thing you could do.
That's funny, man. All right, I got one more here. Roger Vere's firm set to set up to $200 million in investment fund to boost the Bitcoin Cash adoption. So, Bitcoin.com is planning to sell up to a $200 million investment fund next year. The fund is aimed at growing Bitcoin Cash, BCH, adoption rate, and it's targeting startups like payment gateways and remittance processors for investment. It's dubbed the BCH Ecosystem Investment Fund, and it will invest and incubate payment-related startups that utilize the BCH blockchain and BCH, and it's targeting businesses like, remittance processors and gateways. So very interesting. What are your thoughts?
You know what? This may sound shitty of me, but the more I watch Bitcoin Cash, the less against it I am. They seem to,
why? All right.
Obviously they have people. Their biggest spokespeople have been in Bitcoin for a long time. Roger Ver, so on and so forth. They seem to, the transactions seem to happen quicker. I'm not the smartest person in crypto, but that seems to be a bigger issue. I remember when Bitcoin was at 15, 20K. And do you remember some of the transaction fees that were happening and how slow everything was happening?
And huge fees.
Yeah, like $50 fees was not out of the question. So those types of things I like to see more and more. I think work a little bit better on the Bcash side. Obviously, the way they go about it is not ideal. And some of the spokespeople
there's no transaction fees and no wait time if nobody's using it.
That is a fact. And Bitcoin's super cheap to transact now. But, I'm not opposed to it. I just wish they would just change the name. And I guess Bitcoin.
Well, I don't like. Yeah, obviously the Bitcoin.com thing really bothers me.
That's exactly it. I'm with you on that because when I first started on CT, like the at Bitcoin was Bitcoin Cash, and if you didn't know that, you just you were getting bad information, or you were getting misleading information. So I absolutely don't like that. But if they would just change the name, I think people would like it more. I don't know. Because some of the stuff, technically speaking, is good. It's just, everybody's got a bad taste in their mouth because, the whole Bitcoin thing, right? So
because it's kind of shady, yeah.
So it says
here that
it's crypto. Everything's kind of shady, right?
Yeah. It says here that they have had several initiatives in the last couple months here to grow. So last month, the firm acquired Japanese blockchain development startup O3 Labs to build financial services mobile apps using BCH network. And then recently, Bitcoin.com recently launched a cryptocurrency exchange and was also preparing to launch futures contracts for BCH on commodity futures trading on CFTC regulated exchanges. And they said that this fund could launch by the first quarter of 2020. So keep an eye out for
interesting. And that was what, 200 million?
Adoption. Yeah, interesting.
That's a lot of dinero.
It's a lot of millions.
That's 200 of them, to be specific.
It sure is. It sure is. All right, you got one last piece of news / update for us.
Yeah. Right? I was talking about exchanges in China. We should talk about exchanges in the U.S. Obviously, for long-time listeners of the show, they are aware that we were and are big Beaksy supporters, friends with some of the folks that work there. And, for a few months, if not definitely a solid month, I want to say at least, 6 to 8 weeks probably by now, there has been some, uncertainty in the project. And, we know guys like Franklin very well, who's been on the show lots. And, we weren't really hearing from anybody. Artak was on the show. People were saying, "Oh, he's not tweeting out what's happening." There was confusion amongst the people. Obviously, versus BTC, the Beaksy token was going down for people that participated in that. So there was a lot of negative emotion surrounding Beaksy. And on the 20th, what was that? Is that Friday or Thursday of last week? I think it was Thursday, right?
Thursday, I think. Yeah.
Beaksy.
Actually, the 20th was Wednesday.
Oh, it was Wednesday. So on Wednesday of last week, Beaksy submitted an update for everybody. This was actually put together by Franklin Fitch, friend of the show, and this is a Medium article.
Five-time appearer on the
Five Timers Club. Still awaiting the smoker's jacket. It's actually, the article itself is not too long, so I'll just kind of summarize it briefly here. But this is from Franklin himself. Management has been working nonstop behind the scenes to improve our strategic positioning and operations. We are excited to announce that Beaksy has secured a major new financial partner who has injected significant and welcome capital to Beaksy's operations. Our new partner is a global financial service firm that additionally brings the resources of their thousands of employees, technology, operations expertise, and risk staff to improve Beaksy. Pursuant to the supporting the new direction, Artak, I forget how to say his last name, Artak, we'll just say Artak for now, Beaksy's co-founder and CEO and president has resigned effective immediately to spend more time with his family. Beaksy wishes Artak and his family well and prepares as they prepare for the birth of their first child. So I know there was a couple, again, maybe 6-7 weeks ago, there was some stuff about Artak missing. I think it was some sort of appearance of some sort,
some kind of panel,
yeah, and there was apparently an emergency. So obviously we wish all the best to him, but for the time, as of going forward, he is no longer with Beaksy, staying with his family. So we wish him all the best. But going forward, Nick Murphy and Bay Abbott have been appointed as the director and co-presidents of the firm. Nick has been a long-time head of operations for Beaksy Exchange and has been involved with all aspects of running the exchange. Bay has led listings and partnerships for the exchange, as well as driving process improvement over the last year, pre- and post-launch. So shout out to Nick Murphy.
Bay.
Yeah, Nick and Bay and Franklin. It sounds like, things are going in the right direction. They had to do some housekeeping, but, time will tell. We wish them all the best. And we wanted to make sure all of our listeners that were interested in Beaksy are updated if they haven't seen that. So, just a little update from us. We don't want to pretend like we had nothing to do with it, because a lot of times people will do that where, they may be involved with somebody and it didn't go as planned. And they pretend like it never happened. So we obviously don't want to do that. We were big fans of the project, still are big fans of the people. And at the end of the day, guys like Franklin, who we know, personally, and we know who are, working hard day in and day out in crypto, trying to make it better. We want to see these people succeed. So shout out to those guys. And, hopefully, now that they've, rejigged the operations, they can get some positive momentum.
Heck yeah. Let's do it. 6-timer club?
6-timer club. I think maybe I'll message Frank and see if he can maybe bring us some breaking news gems before he launches them. So we'll see what we can do there.
Yep. All right. Well, the Bitcoin price is going up as we speak, 72.28 and growing. So
making money at this point, guys.
Bull fucking run. Anyway. All right. That's going to do it for our crypto talk. Now we're going to be fat.
As I mentioned before, my fatness has prevented me from getting any vertical direction to grabbing branches. So this plays nicely into the fat.
This
theme
draft
of the day.
will be sure to leave you horizontal. So all right. Well, I saw a tweet today right before we got on the show that I would love to talk about. So we are going to do the draft of the top fast food hamburgers / cheeseburgers. So sticking strictly to cheeseburger. So do not take this as an indictment of the entire fast food restaurant. We are strictly talking burgers here. We're going to go, what do you think, 3 or 4? I feel like we might struggle with 4. But
maybe that's where the magic happens.
Okay, let's try for 4. And now, I feel like there's a clear one overall and 2 overall.
Is there?
So I feel like there is out there.
Maybe.
So I feel like there's a clear 1 and 2 for me. I think, especially if you take the one I'm thinking of, and then I'm trying for votes. I got to go back with this one, even if it may not be my favorite.
And are we going with value? Are we going with overall flavor?
I think it's just how good is the damn burger.
Right. Okay. No, that's fair.
So I think you went first last time. Do you want me to go first?
I want you to go first. I want you to go first. You want to go first. This is the week of Thanksgiving, and I want to give thanks to you by giving you the first pick of the draft.
I feel like you're really going to regret that.
That's okay.
All right. Well,
what's up? Do we have to have had the burger at some point in your life?
I would say in order to make a judgment call, you would have had to have eaten it.
All right. Okay. That's fair.
And I feel like I've eaten almost all of these on this list.
There is one on my list, on my to-do list that I've never had the opportunity to have, but I hear great things about.
Okay. So I'm going to go with the number 1 overall pick. I'm going to break your heart, and I will take Five Guys.
That is correct. That is the right number 1 pick, by the way.
I will take Five Guys. There's really not much to say. A regular cheeseburger there has 2 patties.
Right, exactly. You have to get the little one.
Free toppings,
it's
including
so good.
Lettuce, pickles, tomatoes, whatever. You can do it all or nothing, and you can even go 1 patty if you're feeling like a loser.
Maybe a little lunch hamburger. You know what I mean? Maybe not a dinner
my
hamburger.
lunch hamburger is the regular. My dinner
Is it?
two of those.
You're a man. You're a real man.
I'm a fat man.
But you are 100% right. That is the best burger on the market, in my opinion, as well. So if you hadn't picked that, I definitely would have.
Now I'm interested to see what you could do here, because if you don't take this, or
see, the problem is
I win the poll already.
So the problem is I live in Canada, and I know of 2 other ones besides Five Guys that are usually in the top 5 that I've never had. Because they don't exist here in Canada.
But you've been to Vegas.
I have, but I didn't go for the burgers, unfortunately. So maybe next time. Yeah, so I'm going to have to go with something a bit more... I'm going to go with my favorite that I can get everywhere in the world, or at least in North America. And that is the Wendy's
wow,
double
interesting.
Patty.
That would have been my next pick.
Yeah, that's the best. I mean, regardless of where you are, you can get a Wendy's double cheeseburger. I mean, it's, is it the number 2 in the States too? Whatever it is, it's delicious. 2 patties, cheese.
See,
it's so good.
This is how fat I am. I go with the Dave's Classic Triple.
You recommended that to me one time, and I think I had texted you. I'm like, I'm going out for lunch. What do you recommend? And that's what you said, and I got it, and I had trouble breathing for the rest of the afternoon.
All right.
So I'm going with the Wendy's double cheeseburger.
Now, I'm assuming you didn't pick this one because this is probably one of the ones you haven't had.
Correct.
Now, that being said, I'm an East Coaster, so I don't have this near me, but I have this whenever I'm out.
I'm excited to hear your breakdown of it as well. So I think I know which one you're going with.
I'm going with In-N-Out.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going with In-N-Out, and you got to go animal style.
Apparently, that's what they say.
Yeah, and actually, the last place I had it was Vegas. We Ubered there, and
is it kind of off the beaten path in Vegas?
Yeah, it's not on the Strip, but it's like 10 minutes.
Okay, worth the drive.
So when you go, this is on your Chamber in America checklist for Vegas, especially since you say, oh, I don't like Vegas. Well, then go have a fucking burger.
I do like burgers.
And then there's a picture of me on Instagram somewhere where I'm wearing that stupid fucking hat that they have there.
Oh, really?
The old school burger chef's hat, you know? Yeah, so I think, unfortunately for you, that's going to win me the poll right off the bat.
I think so. I mean, you got Five Guys and In-N-Out.
And In-N-Out is going to... I don't think you stand a chance.
My hands are tied, unfortunately.
I'm going to have some fun with the next 2 then.
So...
Let's see if I can...
There's another one that I hear that is fantastic as well that I haven't tried, too, so that you might be able to get that one, too.
Yeah, don't tell me if it...
I'm going to go with... I'm just going to go with my favorites that I have access to. And this might be controversial. I think some people may hate this one. I feel like I'm going to lose anyway, so I'm just going to go with my heart, and I'm going to go with the Whopper with cheese.
I don't think that's... Well, are you saying because people might choose the other one over it?
No, I feel like a lot of people just hate on Burger King, and rightfully so. You should hate on Burger King, but at the end of the day, a Whopper with cheese... I mean, that's a tasty sandwich.
I don't know. Well, Burger King's been climbing up my fast food ranks lately. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm into it in a big way.
So going BK, Whopper, cheese.
Now, see, you're a little more in the traditional fast food here. Mm-hmm. So, I'm in these kind of boutique fast foody burgers now.
Yep.
With my first 2 picks. So I will go on the board with the traditional quarter pounder with cheese.
QP with C.
Yeah, QP with C.
That is a good one. That is my go-to when I go to McDonald's.
Well, this would shock you. I go with the double quarter pounder with cheese.
That's too much McDonald's meat, man. I can't handle that. That's too much. I can only handle a little bit of the McDonald's meat. Not a huge fan of McDonald's as a rule.
I fucking love it.
Especially on their burgers. Love the fries. Drinks are great. And for the record...
Stuff it in my face hole.
I noticed... I don't know if... when you were a kid, do you remember orange drink at McDonald's?
Yeah, like High C?
It wasn't High C. It was like McDonald's orange drink.
Oh, maybe not. I mean, I'm sure I've had it. I had to have.
So I don't know. When I was, I'm a little bit older than you, but so maybe I know like the health board got involved because it was not healthy. But more recently, for those of you who know what I'm talking about, more recently I was at McDonald's and noticed they had orange Fruitopia. And
I used to love Fruitopia. I don't think Fruitopia exists around here anymore.
So for those of you guys who know what I'm talking about, if you go to McDonald's, get an orange Fruitopia drink. It is the closest thing to your OG McDonald's orange drink I have found. So I don't know if McDonald's went to Fruitopia, or I think it's Coca-Cola that owns Fruitopia. So I don't know if they went to Coca-Cola and gave them the old recipe and say, "Hey, just make this for us. We won't tell anybody." It was goddamn delicious. So. Just a little public service announcement there for me.
All right, you're up. You have Wendy's and the BK Whopper with cheese. I have Five Guys, In-N-Out, and a QP with C.
QP with C is a good burger. I'm going to go fudge. I'm running out here. What is good? I'm going to go with a Big Mac. Does that count as a cheeseburger?
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah?
It's
okay.
2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
That is, that's how you make a cheeseburger. Where I come from.
Tell me how that's not. Yeah, I can recite the fucking recipe for a Big Mac. What do you want?
That does not shock me. I've been shocked by many things in my life. You knowing the secret recipe to a Big Mac is not one of them. So I got the Wendy's cheeseburger, or double cheeseburger. I got Whoppers. I got the Whopper with cheese, and I got the Big Mac. What do you got on the last one?
So, I'm going with this one. This is probably one of the actual worst quality burgers, maybe.
Okay.
But it is a personal favorite of mine. And I knew I could save it for last because I know for a fact you haven't had one because you failed miserably in Nashville.
I did. I think I know which one you're going with.
And I'm going with the White Castle sliders.
Ooh. They're like, you could have picked 4 hamburgers that I've never had.
Yeah, I figured because
there's another one. There's another one.
Some of them are really boutiquey. All right, we'll finish your last one. So my final team is Five Guys, In-N-Out, Quarter Pounder with cheese, and White Castle.
That's a solid lineup.
Yeah.
I wish I could go with, and I thought maybe you would go with me. So let me know if you've ever had this. But I've always heard Steak Shack had a great hamburger.
Yeah, Steak Shack I've had. Very good. No, it's great.
I've always heard that on the list of favorite hamburgers.
Yep. You mean Shake Shack, by the way.
What did I say? Steak Shack?
Yeah.
Is there a steak one?
With Steak and Shake.
That's the one. Both have good hamburgers, maybe. I'm not sure.
I think both do. I've had both. Shake Shack is like the new hotness.
Okay.
Out in them streets in the burger world. Like Shake Shack is, but there's not as many of them around yet. So that's why I didn't pick that one, because the burgers at Steak Shack or Shake Shack are very similar to like a Five Guys.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's the Shake Shack burger.
That sounds delicious.
Yep. It's very good. And so, but I didn't want to go with that. It was too much like a Five Guys burger for me.
Okay. All right.
For my list.
They do a smash burger there, right? Is that what they do?
No, there's a place called Smash Burger.
Ooh.
Jeez. That has the classic.
You Americans, man, you guys have all the burger joints.
We've got all the burger joints. Yep.
So, all right, I'm going to pick my last one. It's one of my personal favorites. I don't believe you guys have these in the U.S.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
They started off in downtown Toronto. Now they've franchised out a little bit. So we got one where I live, and I'm a huge fan of it. It's called Burgers Priest.
No, there's nowhere you're gonna win a poll with this.
Well, if it's only Canadians voting that live in the Greater Toronto area, they will 100% agree with me. But Burgers Priest, for real, is one of the best hamburgers I've ever had.
Interesting. Related to something that maybe I would have had?
Trying to think. I guess, maybe, Five Guys, but more variation. So, like Five Guys, you can pick whatever toppings you want. Mm-hmm. Basically, at Five Guys, you're building your own burger every time.
Correct.
More or less. At Burgers Priest, there's going to be
more built options.
100%. There's like 100 options. Yeah. So as opposed to picking them, you're just picking one burger and going from there. So, huge fan of Burgers Priest. That's the one I'm going to go with. And shout out, do you guys have A&W, by the way, in the US?
Yes.
Shout out to the Team Burger. Would be my fifth choice. That's a very good hamburger.
All right, so we have Five Guys, In-N-Out, Quarter Pounder with cheese and White Castle for your boy, and then Chamber coming in with Wendy's, the Burger King Whopper with cheese, Big Mac, and Burgers Priest.
Delicious. That's a good. When you come to Canada, we're gonna go to Burgers Priest.
Oh hell yeah! Yeah, take me for a burger. Anyway, that is gonna do it for us. Let's land this bird. Anything we need to get at?
I don't think so. Give us a, do
all the normal shit.
Yeah. You know what to do. It's not your first podcast. I can't imagine you're only listening to this podcast.
If you are, God help you.
There are much better podcasts out there, people, if you only listen to this one.
Even of ours.
Yeah.
Go listen to one of our guests. They're much smarter than we are. Anyway.
So, shout out. Don't get wrecked, so on and so forth.
Do you want to do it this time?
No, I don't.
Except for your solo.
Yeah, I hate it too. It's just so much pressure.
You always fuck it up.
I know. I don't perform well under pressure, so no. I'll
you're like, don't find yourself in an erect position, and that is financial advice.
It's too much. I'm done.
All right, that's it. Don't get wrecked, and that is financial advice.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. You can help support us by giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and become a Rekt patron by signing up for a monthly tier on patreon.com. That's patreon.com/Rekt podcast. Don't get wrecked.